Yeah. So, you got here yesterday?
I got here Saturday night, or Friday night, so essentially Saturday. I mean,
Okay.
I walked in here at 10 o'clock and went to bed.
Okay. What do you got? Well, you're used to the hotel. That's all you've been doing, huh?
Yeah.
What's the plan there? Find the place?
I found a
soon?
place. It's just going through the
Okay.
inspection and
Okay.
all that final
A
stuff.
house?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm rolling all cameras.
Ready?
Give me a clap.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like right or something?
I'll let these
Hold
go.
on one second.
And the feet on them were like.
Can I have you, Mike, just move a smidge to your left?
Me?
Yep. A little more. All right, let me find another look over here. All right, that looks good.
You're hustling. I hear you hustling back there, Chris.
I'm working on it. I want it to look right for you. All right,
Ready?
perfect.
Coach, this is kind of a new deal for you. A little more perks with the head coaching job.
Absolutely. Yeah, a few more gifts when you check in than I'm used to.
What do you think of the whole head coaching? I know you've had to do some speeches and some appearances, and you've had to shake hands a little bit more maybe than you're used to. Is that part of the job that is still coming to you, so to speak?
No, I've been exposed to doing that a little bit in the past. Obviously, doing it more here, but no, I look at that as just being part of the job, and I enjoy doing it.
Since we've talked to you last, we now know what you have and what you don't have. I was curious after you got Bryce Callahan. Tell us how the secondary is going to work with him and Kareem and Chris Harris, because some people would say that you got three guys very similar and that they're all very strong in the slot, kind of the same size. How you going to work that out?
Well, that's going to be one of the exciting things that we'll work through once we start working with the players in the spring and all the way through training camp. They're versatile guys, you know. In Kareem's case, he's played corner, played nickel, and played safety, and plays them all well. And in Bryce and Chris's case, they've both played corner and nickel, and both play them well. So, you know, we've got some maneuverability there that will allow us to, you know, move guys around and figure out our best combination.
In the four starters, do I have Simmons, Kareem, Bryce, and Chris Harris? Does that sound right?
You might have them, but
Okay.
But I don't know who those guys are going to be just yet.
Okay, I got you. What about as far as maybe what you might need? Inside linebacker with, you know, the speed, the cover, the third down. Still looking for that type of guy, or you confident with what you got there with Todd Davis, Josie Jewell, Keyshawn Barrett, the area?
We like the guys we have, but we're always looking to add guys to all the personnel position groups and add competition. If we can improve our play, we'll always look at that. So, I do like Josie and Todd, but we're always looking to get better.
Nose tackle without Domata Peko. Shelby Harris, is that ready? He's ready to go in there?
Well, we'll soon find out if he is or isn't. But, you're playing so much nickel anymore these days that it's just another D-line. I look at the D-line group as one position.
Okay.
You know, those guys need to be interchangeable along the front.
Zach Kerr.
Zach.
Yeah, all those guys. Yeah, I noticed everybody plays nickel. You played it almost 80% of the time last year. Is that because you were ahead for one thing? You know, you had a good year, or that is your philosophy?
No, we led the league, and led might be the wrong word to use, but we saw the most 3 wide receivers or more on the field against
right?
us than any other team in the league. So that's part of the reason for that.
Okay.
But we will play some nickel too against when they only have 2 receivers on the field. just like we will play some base when they have 3 wide receivers on the field. So that's more of a product of how people were trying to play us.
The up front, Jawan James, that kind of, I guess now that you got the bookends with him and Bowles, if you could only get 2 pieces, those would be the 2 pieces you'd get done first.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, but I think you have to play the free agent market and the draft as what's there. You know, you can't, hey, we need this position, let's just go sign somebody. You know, those are good players that were available at the time for the Broncos, and that's when you move.
On the interior, let's see, Leary at left guard, Connor McGovern at center, Elijah Wilkinson at right guard. That kind of do I have that right? That's how it maybe starts as we sit here in March?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the depth chart yet.
Okay.
We'll put that together before we hit the field for that first mini camp in April. But, you know, it's a very fluid situation right now, especially inside, you know, guard, center, guard. You know, those guys, some guys can play both, some guys can't. Some guys are half guard, half tackle. So we got a lot of work to do before that thing sorts itself out.
Hireman, he's your guy at tight end. You brought him back to speak to some of the decision on that.
Well, Jeff's had some good success here in the past. We like him as a player. You know, the free agency market had to play its way out both for him and for the club, and I'm glad that we've had a mutual come together here, and I'm excited to have him back.
That room is talented, but it's been injury prone. Concerns there, or cross your fingers, cross your toes? How are you looking at that position?
Well, you're always concerned about injuries and guys that maybe have had a few more than others. So, but you know, that's all in the past. Well, hopefully moving forward, they got it out of their system.
You know, you were saying about how you can't force a free agent just because you have a need. Receiver maybe was one of those positions. I know there were some good slot guys out there that got to be expensive, you know, maybe getting paid more than they usually do. But receiver's still a position you need to address, with Emmanuel kind of being the only veteran and coming off a big injury.
Well, we'll always look and upgrade the receivers. Receivers is kind of like DBs, but DBs even more so. You kind of never have enough of them, it seems like. And you know, we're no different than other teams. We like to play 3 wide receivers some of the time. Maybe not as much as others, but so, you know, you're going to have 5 or 6 on your roster, so you're always looking to improve.
You saw Joe at the very beginning of his career, Joe Flacco. Now, if all works out well, you'll have him at the end of his career. Have you seen, in just your meetings with him here in the last month or so, have you seen a different Joe Flacco? Or where have you seen him mature, maybe?
I just you know, see a more confident player. Obviously, I was around him as a rookie, and you know, a rookie coming in from Delaware, you know, everything was new to him then, but he handled it great back then. I just see a more calm and confident player right now.
Better today, the Denver Broncos, than when you first started evaluating this team, during the interview process even, going back to early January?
We should be. We've added some good players here in this process, and good players should make you better.
You're starting here in about a week, right?
Yep.
You anxious? Nervous?
No.
Okay.
Anxious is nervous. Those are on good terms.
Yeah, okay.
I'm eager.
Eager. That's a better term.
Yeah.
Eager to just get in front of the room. You already got your speech rehearsed, or you're going to not fret that till...
I'm not worried about it, you know, because I'm just going to tell them what we believe in, you know.
Are you a big speech guy?
No, I'm not a pontificator, but I do like to talk to the players.
Gotcha. Coach, go get them.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All righty.
So, like off the record, Bryce Callahan, was this something you guys...
I'm just framing this one up.
So I think I'll ask you about competition a little bit. Okay. Maybe I'll... See, I don't like the 4th and 15 rule.
Why not?
Arena...
Well, I mean, at some point in time, it has to go some way, right? because now
Gimmickry.
you can't catch up, right? The
No.
onside kick because of
Yeah.
that. Plus, it's the
Don't move.
twice, your chances of getting injured twice as much as a regular screen.
Okay.
So there's player safety involved with it too.
Okay.
But other than that, 4 out of 52 onside kicks got recovered.
4 out of what?
52.
Okay.
So that's 7.7%. So if you look at it, it used to be 13 to 14%. So it's you're half as likely to be able to return it or get an onside kick. So they've eliminated that because of the fact that the onside kick team the kickoff team is stationary.
Okay.
So they're 2 yards behind where they would be. That's why
Yeah. I'll pick it up. I'll just pick it up. The two concerns I have, fourth and 15. You know how ticky-tacky these defensive holding penalties are?
Yep. Well, I mean, and that's what happens. But, bottom line is you're going to play like 4th and 15. So,
Yeah.
period. That's what
Yeah.
it is. And so
Yeah.
that's, you get a choice to do it one time in the fourth quarter. If you like to do it, then you don't get to do it again. But you get one time. And plus, you can't go back. Once you
Yeah.
commit to it, you can't go back and say, okay, with a penalty, say I'm gonna kick it off now. You
You-
can punt it, but you can't kick it off.
You're submitting this proposal. You're not old school? I mean, you don't think this is a little gimmicky kind
Well,
of?
and I don't. Well, when you look at it, it gives a chance. Sure, it's a little bit gimmicky from what we're used to, but the whole game's changing.
Yeah.
And so therefore, they're changing the mentality. Especially with defensive players and making a safer league, which is good. The onside kick, you're twice as likely to get hurt on that play than you are a scrimmage play. So there's some player safety involved there, and plus, bottom line is it gives you a chance to get to come back if you're behind. And right now with the way that with the kickoff rules and the guys having to be stationary, your chances of recovering an onside kick are half of what they used to be.
The replay as it pertains to the pass interference that got everybody up in arms on the New Orleans, the NFC Championship game.
Right.
Is there something in play
The
there?
big question there is whether replay can put a flag on the field. That's been the biggest, talking point and discussion point of, should that be allowed to be able to put flags on the field, and that's what opens up so many different cans of worms is being able to do that. So and if you do that, when can you do it? Can you do it inside 2 minutes? If you do it inside 2 minutes, and there's a lot of different things that come, unintended consequences that we're trying to find.
Bryce Callahan, since we talked to you last, you picked him up, and he made sense on the Fangio and Donatel side. He played with them. But you now lead the league in that cornerback that can play the slot, the outside, 5'10", tackle, scrappy. What was your thinking there when you went and got him?
Well, bottom line is Bryce. We looked at Bryce and watched him play outside. We hadn't seen him much last year, but we looked at him in 17 and him playing outside, and he can really play outside also. So Chris Harris can also play outside.
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate in the fact that we have good cover guys that can play inside or outside. So you never like to get stuck in just one guy that's not flexible or versatile enough to play different positions. And so we figure Bryce can play inside or outside as well as Chris, and so as well as Kareem. So we got a bunch of different things that we can do in the secondary, which gives Vic a lot of flexibility.
Does Kareem now start at safety?
He's coming in as a corner right now. So
Okay.
we'll have to. Yeah, he's coming in as a corner, and so we'll have to see. And I think that's what Vic wants to see until
Yeah.
he can see and get a feel for all the defense. It's hard to say where they're all going to play, but the great thing is they're all very versatile, very smart, very good football players, and so he's going to have that flexibility to do what he wants to do within the defense.
Then tight end with the decision to come back with Jeff Hireman. Talk about that.
Well, obviously Jeff has been a guy that we drafted, 4 years ago. Still have high hopes. Really showed some flashes last year. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the main thing. And if we feel like if he can stay healthy, then he's got to be a chance to be a real good tight end for us. And so we're excited he's coming back.
Vic was saying that when you're in this free agency draft, you can't force needs and go get, you kind of needed a receiver. Do I have that right? But the way it kind of fell, all the slot guys got big money, and then there really wasn't a fit for you guys.
Well, I mean, you have to really like somebody, and I just didn't
Yeah.
think there was somebody out there for us. And so I think that, there's a lot of different options. There are always needs. Offensive line's a need. I mean, there's always, every team has needs, and the bottom line is you do the best you can to try to solve those needs. You're not going to get them all solved. We're not going to get them all solved in the draft. But, we're going to do the best we can and look at what resources that we have and how we can go about getting the best football team that we can.
Needs maybe interior line, which is you got Leary, McGovern, Elijah Wilkinson.
Exactly.
That's
right
how
now.
it is right now.
Right now.
And you would like to maybe do something there.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, Mike, and see how how
hard.
things fall. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of starters walking around out there that that you're not going to have to pay a bunch of money to. So we'll continue to work on it. We feel good about those guys right there. We'll continue to add competition to it and come together with the best offensive plan we can.
Vic also was talking something. Not Vic. Chris Collinsworth about Flacco. It didn't really occur to me. You know, people say, well, his stats, his passer rating. He played on a defensive team all his career.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play quarterback different, don't you? When you're on a defensive heavy team, slanted team, than you on a wide open.
Well, I mean, you become a manager, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on where you are. And the thing is, the great thing about Joe is he's got that experience to be able to do both. And I think that if we can continue to put good people around him, which we're going to continue to try to do, and give him some weapons, then he can be explosive on the offensive side, but also play good defense. And so we're looking for great balance on both sides. And like I said, we feel like Joe, we're getting him in the prime of his career and really a good fit for what we're going to do. So we're going to continue to try to protect him and getting people to throw it to him.
A lot better today than you were 2 months ago.
I think so. I'm excited about it. I think that I think with everything that's gone on, I'm real excited about Vic and his staff and the staff that he's put together. And then I'm excited about the people that we're able to get in free agency. Now once we get through these owners meetings, we'll get busy on the draft and looking forward to the draft. We got a couple extra picks, and so I'm excited about that.
Who are you picking number 10?
Not sure yet. Not sure yet. We'll go through that whole study, and I'm sure that you'll give all the information out where we're going.
Trade back.
But,
yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's always easy to say too, as long as depending on where you trade back to. I mean, like I said, those are type of things that we explore all the options, and so we're prepared going into the draft.
Good, John. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. What did you give Hogan? 950.